Is a guided tour of the Grand Canyon worth it? If you're not sure whether a guided tour is for you, stick around as we break down every option. Whether you're seeking an adrenaline rush, a family-friendly trip, or a relaxing way to explore the canyon. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to plan your perfect adventure. Hey, I'm Karlyn Bunting with GrandCanyon.com. So why should you choose a guided tour? Well, there's expert knowledge that will give you additional insights and history and also teach you about the wildlife and the geology here at the Grand Canyon. Also, it's stress-free convenience. You don't have to worry about the logistics or stressing about where to park or where to go, and you can just enjoy the scenery and the experience. Also, you can get unique access to some hidden experiences. You'll see things, you'll come to know things that you did not know that are hidden either in the backcountry or as the guides tell you about the area that they're showing you. And then there's also social interaction. It's kind of fun to get to know other visitors as they're visiting the Grand Canyon with you. So let's take a look at the types of tours and guided tours that you can take here at the Grand Canyon. You got Hummer and bus tours, you got helicopter tours, mule trips, rafting tours, hiking tours, and airplane tours. Let's go see what it all means. Here's Buckwild Hummer Tours, and they'll take you to the rim. Now, their tours are in a range. They're from 117 up to 157 for the sunset. They also have a hiking tour, but we'll talk more about that in just a few minutes. Then there's also the concessionaire in the park. This is Xanterra Grand Canyon National Park Lodges. They have multiple guided bus tours that they'll take you on. They have the Hermit's Rest, they have the sunrise, the sunset, and they even have the Desert View tour. They can take you out to Desert View. I like Desert View. In fact, I'll show you when I visited it in my childhood. Next, we also have the helicopter tours. They're pretty exciting. Here's Papillon Helicopters. They've got the North Canyon tour. They've got the Imperial with EcoStar. And then you can also combine the Hummer with it as well. Next, we've got airplane tours. Now, this is Grand Canyon Scenic Airlines, and they have the Grand Discovery Air Tour. It starts at 179. Next, we have the world famous mule rides here at the Grand Canyon. There's several tours that you can take on the mule rides. There's the 2-hour that takes you along the rim, and that's the Vista Mules ride. We also have the 7-hour Havasupai. Now, this is a new one. They've just started it again. And then we've got overnight rides down to Phantom Ranch as well. Next, we have hiking. Now, this is what I was telling you. Buckwild Hummer Tours also has a hiking tour, and it starts at just 149. So they'll take you along the rim, and they'll also take you hiking in the Grand Canyon. Pretty incredible. You'll definitely want to check this one out. Also, you can do private hiking tours. Grand Canyon Adventures offers private hiking tours, 8 to 10 hours, and those start at $16.24. It's just you and your guide. Next, you have the multi-day hiking tours. Now, Wildland Trekking and several other companies do a lot of tours here at the Grand Canyon, but to just kind of give you a taste, here's some of the tours that they offer. You can go over and study more. They've got the Hermit Loop. They've got the Mule Assisted Classic. They've got a lot of tours, and I pass them often when I'm hiking in the Grand Canyon. So if you want a guided hiking tour, Wildland Trekking and several others can offer those to you as well. After that, we have the raft trips. So the rafting tours, the half-day rafting tour technically isn't in the Grand Canyon. It goes from Lee's Ferry, which is the beginning of the Grand Canyon, up to Horseshoe Bend and back. It's a beautiful tour and a lot of fun. It's right here locally. I live in Page, so it's close to where I live. But here's a couple of things that you'll see on that raft trip. Next, we have the one-day whitewater rafting trip. This is offered by the Hualapai tribe over at Grand Canyon West. And that's the one-day rafting. It's $429, and you go from Diamond Creek all the way down to the end of the Grand Canyon in the western end. This is the only one-day whitewater rafting in the Grand Canyon. So back here to Horseshoe Bend, this is smooth water. It's at the beginning of the Grand Canyon and comes up into Glen Canyon up to Horseshoe Bend. And then you have the one-day whitewater rafting offered by the Hualapai tribe here for $429. And then finally, you have the multi-day whitewater rafting operators. We've got Arizona Raft Adventures, Arizona River Runners, Canyon Expeditions, Canyon Explorations, Canyoneers, Colorado River and Trail Expeditions. We have Grand Canyon Discovery, Grand Canyon Expeditions, Grand Canyon Raft Adventures, Grand Canyon Whitewater. I've gone on them several times. You've got Hatch River Expeditions. We got Oars at Grand Canyon, Outdoors Unlimited, Tour West, Western Rivers Expeditions. I used to work for them. I used to be the bus driver. And then finally, you have Wilderness River Adventures here in Page that does the multi-day. They're also the ones that offer the half-day float trip that comes up into Glen Canyon from Lee's Ferry. So these are your tour options. Let's just jump back over here to re-summarize real quick. We got Hummer and Bus. Those range anywhere from 39 to 157, and they go from 1.5 to 5 hours. And they are easier on the physical access level and for your accessibility needs. Now, on helicopter tours, those range anywhere from $250 up to $590. Most of them are in the 25 to 50-minute range. For accessibility, you do have to have someone who can assist you to get on and off the helicopter. That's just a requirement. Next, we have airplane tours. You'll see the airplane tours here real quickly. That was a 50-minute tour. It's $179 a person. And here in just a minute, I'm going to show you exactly where these helicopter and airplane tours go. And that's a 50-minute tour. Again, physical activity level, you've got to be able to get on and off the plane. So that's the requirement there. Mule trips, those range anywhere from $177 for that 2-hour Vista up to $1,231 per person. And again, there's a 2-hour, a 7-hour duration and overnights that are available on the mule trips. Next, we have the rafting tours. We quickly covered those. Next, we've got the rafting tours. We've got the half day that begins at $129 per person. We've got the 1 day that's $429 per person. And then you got the multi-days that begin at $2,100 and go up from there, up into the $3,000 or $4,000 per person. But they're incredible. I've done the multi-days 4 times. I've done the 1 day twice, and I've done the half day. I can't even count how many times I've done the half day. I happen to love the river. I love the air tours. I have not done the mule trip. One of the requirements is you have to weigh less than 200 pounds. Unfortunately, I weigh more than 200 pounds. And then we've got the hiking tours over here. We've got the one with the Hummer, which is the best deal, that starts out at $149 per person. And then it goes from $1,264 for the private, and then the multi-days go up from there. So take a look at the half day and the multi-days. Accessibility, you've got to be able to hike in the Grand Canyon. Sorry. For the most part, you're not going to be able to do that unless you can hike in the Grand Canyon. Same with the rafting trips. Accessibility for the rafting and the mule trips. All 3 of these have accessibility issues. You've got to be able to get it on and off the mule, on and off the rafts. You've got to be able to hike in the canyon on the accessibility side. So I told you I was going to tell you where the helicopter tours go. The half-hour helicopter follows that loop that goes through the middle of the canyon over there. It's the 25 to 30-minute tour. And then a helicopter and the airplane tour do this big 50-minute loop that goes all over the Grand Canyon. What's the big advantage of an air tour? An air tour allows you to see more of the canyon in less than 1 hour than you could see in a week. That's the big advantage. You get to see both the North Rim and the South Rim. By the way, they're 200 miles apart. It takes 4 hours to drive between. So that's their big advantage. Now, I know a lot of people don't necessarily want to fly on an airplane and helicopter, but if you do, it will allow you to see the most in the least amount of time. That's why I wanted to make sure you know about those options. Now, an important part about booking your tour, if you're going to take a tour of the Grand Canyon, is you need to make sure that you book well in advance. That's what's going to guarantee the availability. It also allows you to get the best options. So book early and make sure that you get the tour that you're looking for. Also, if you're going to find a deal on the tours, it's going to be from booking early. So make sure that you book early so that you don't end up paying last minute higher prices. Also, you'll know that you have the activity booked that you want to do at the Grand Canyon by booking early. So I can't stress it enough. Make sure you book it in advance. So here's the big question. A guided tour versus independent exploration. Guided tours are a lot of fun. You get the experience and the knowledge from the guide. And that's the big advantage of taking a guided tour versus doing it all on your own. But you can do independent exploration. I'll show you here in just a minute. When I was 8 years old, we did it all on our own. And you can do it all on your own. And if you only want a short taste of the Grand Canyon, just a couple of viewpoints, get in and out, you can do that. Again, I'm going to tell you, the other tours will show you the most and the least, but you can just go hit one or two viewpoints on your own. Now, what I would recommend is that you do a combined approach, that you take a tour, get oriented to the Grand Canyon, learn more about it. Then you can take a look at the map that they give you when you enter the park and decide the viewpoints that you want to go do independently. So I recommend actually the combined approach. I think that's the best. One of the things that I also want to make sure you don't miss out when you come to the Grand Canyon area is the opportunity to explore a couple of great destinations, Antelope Canyon and Horseshoe Bend. They easily combine with your South Rim Grand Canyon vacation. So I'd highly recommend that you come up to Page and come take a look at Antelope Canyon and Horseshoe Bend. They're magnificent. They become very, very popular, and they're a great experience to add to your Grand Canyon vacation. So whether your little 8-year-old Karlyn standing here in front of the watchtower out on the South Rim of the Grand Canyon, this was March of 1974. I was just 8 years old back then. And then my father and brother are back there walking along the trail. That's me, hands in my pocket, just seeing the Grand Canyon. Anyway, it's pretty exciting to be here. Whether you experienced the Grand Canyon like we did as a family back in 1974, we were doing our own itinerary, or if you want to see more in less time and feel the adventure of a helicopter tour, we want to make sure that you plan the best vacation you can to the Grand Canyon. So make sure you come to GrandCanyon.com, grab the Ultimate Grand Canyon Adventure Guide, and we'll see you at the Grand Canyon.